Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Hey, besties. It's Behind the Shade. I have another recap. We're going to get into the Real Housewives of Orange County. We're going to throw some shade and we got to unpack this episode. It was really good. It's season 18, episode 7. The gloves are off. And we know Alexis said it in the show. Why that quote? I liked when Tamara said, "Have I drove my car into a house?" That's what I would name this episode. That tickled me for real. So anyway, you let me know what you want to title the show. And we're gonna do a 1 to 10 because the letters just don't give you enough room to wiggle. So let's do our judging, our ranking by numbers now. So on a scale of 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, what do you rate this week's episode? It had me going. We gotta unpack it. I'm gonna give it a strong 9. Oh, look at me, strong 9. Okay, let's go because I got stuff. So I didn't even start off this episode right. You know I got questions before I even get into it. Okay, back up, rewind. Did Emily threaten to hit Gina with the pickleball paddle? You know, when she was like, "You're so aggressive," and Emily said, "No, I'm not, because I still got this this paddle in my hand." I was like, "What?" And that's when Gina walks off the court. And I get Gina is a New Yorker to the heart. But why does she have to be screaming every time? She's so emotional. Why are you screaming? I don't know who's worse, her or Nell from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Jeez Louise. And this was really a crybaby episode. Gina cried, Emily cried, Jen cried, Shannon cried twice, Alexis cried, Shannon cries again. It was just a crybaby episode. Okay, let's get into it because, baby, I got notes for days. So it's the next morning in La Quinta, and the ladies are having their breakfast outside. And, you know, the John Jensen lawsuit comes up again. So you just got to gear up, besties. That's what this whole season is going to be about, is the John Jensen lawsuit. That's all we're going to talk about. And we're only going to talk about Shannon's DUI. It goes from that to that. That's all we're going to talk about. Nobody else gets the storyline. Shannon is the star this season. She's taking over. Like Cash Money did in 2000. Okay. Okay. So Shannon swears on everything that she paid for everything when she dated him. At least she says the first 2 years. Blah, blah, blah. So what I'm gathering is that is Shannon taking the $65,000 that it took for her facelift, and are facelifts that, do they cost that much, or does she just need that much work done? Like, that sounds like a lot of money. Anyway, so did she receive it as a gift? Like, since you used to do so much for me, here you are. Maybe that's what the throw off is, because why are you suing her? Get to that later. So, so Shannon tells them about a time when she took his family, was it, and her kids too? She took us to say she took his family to LA. It was his daughter's birthday. And she said, you know, this cost like $10,000. $10,000, Shannon, to hang out in LA. And was this the daughter that allegedly she almost hit when she ran into the house when she went over there drunk and got that DUI? Is this the same daughter you almost ran over, Shannon? Like, I just got questions. So $10,000 to go hang out in LA. That is a lot of money, Shannon. So they're having girl talk about it and how, being in love makes you very generous. And Emily asked, did she feel like she was buying his love? And Emily, says, you settle, just go ahead and settle with him and just kind of give him $30,000 because, she's an attorney. And so, all the women, they feel bad for Shannon. She breaks down because, they gave her a time to talk about it and she can really express how she feels. Emily hugs her and, woo, woo, woo. So then they get ready to play pickleball. Everybody gets up, they're collecting their dishes that they brought outside onto the patio table. And Heather don't pick up a plate or nothing. She grabbed her pineapple because she had cut fresh pineapples. They're drinking juice out of the pineapples. Honey, she picks her pineapples up with both of her hands and she walks in the house. And I think Shannon made a note that she didn't even pick up her plates. Well, Heather is used to a way of life, a certain way of life, and you guys did not provide that for her. In Big Bear, Katie is in the kitchen alone. She's making coffee. It's the next morning. The other ladies are upstairs. They're all in the bedroom and they're just saying how much they really like Katie. And they're trying to figure out how are they going to get Heather to like her also. And so, Alexis was like, Heather's so hard-headed. And so they show flashbacks of Tamara trying to manage Jen's OnlyFans page because they're talking about how much fun they had the night before. And so Jen is posing and she's dancing on top of Tamara's pool table. And they're just having fun. They are laughing. They talked. They cried. They prayed. Child, they prayed. Are you serious? Miss Alexis was putting hands on Tamara, child, praying. Baby, what y'all call her? Jesus jugs? So they're downstairs having coffee. So they're downstairs having coffee. Did I need to discuss let's talk about this menopause and this, no. Anyway, they're in the kitchen. And so they asked Alexis, does she drink Red Bulls in the morning or coffee? This girl go on a tangent talking about her period. She's talking about she thinks she's pre-menopausal. And it's like, girl, pre-menopausal is perimenopausal. But she don't know. And so Katie's like, bring it back, ma'am. I'm asking you about coffee or Red Bull. We're not asking about your period. And it's just like, Alexis is still the chatty catty. Remember on the ride down the Big Bear, Tamara, she was getting on Tamara's nerves. So she wakes up, she's chatty catty. Just talking. So they settle into the living room. So Katie asked Jen, about Will. So it sounds like this is a continuation from the night before or whatever. Because how do you even know about his name? How do you know his name? So they had a lot of bonding time the night before. And so Will is dating one of Jen's friends. This woman was her interior designer when she was married, blah, blah, blah. They have been dating for 3 years. When Jen found out, 3 years ago or whatever, she went crazy. She cussed the lady out. And then when she got her cool, she realized that, hey, she loves this woman. She's been there for her, blah, 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 blah. And Will loves her now, and so she feels like, well, since you like her and I like her, let's all co-parent together because we got these 9 kids and it'll be better for them that we co-parent. She doesn't understand why Will is icing her out. So she also mentioned that they go over to, I think the friend's name was Laura. They go over to Laura's house for family dinner and they play games, and she's never seen Will so happy. And that is what hurts. So Tamara asked her, well, did she see them on social media? So Jen was like, "Oh no, he has me blocked." And so Tamara said, "Well, he don't have me blocked." And so she shows Jen some videos, and you hear, we don't see the video, but you hear kids cheering. You can hear they're having fun. You might even heard a splash of water, but you just hear all this excitement and love and fun that the kids are having. So Jen gets emotional, and so um, she just feels like if she was everything, if this girl's everything that Jen never was, let her in the circle so that we can co-parent, you know. And so she just said she really did love Will with all her heart, and to see him full of life with her friend just hurts her, because he was never full of life with her. And that's probably why Will is not letting her in, because you're going to see him in a different way, and he doesn't want you to see that, the happy Will, because then you're probably going to be tripping and saying stuff and making it hard for him and making him uncomfortable. And you know, they don't want that. So, uh, I feel so bad for Jen, because she's a airhead, yeah. Because how do you still consider loving someone who pretty much swooped up and took your husband? That's white girl stuff. We don't do that over here. And not all white women, but you guys get it. Let's not be sensitive. You know, we just talking. Ha 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 ha. We love everybody here. Let me put that disclaimer on it. Don't come for me in the comments. We're besties, remember? And we can disagree, don't worry, but I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying. That's the stereo. There's plenty on us. Go ahead, shoot your whatever. Make yourself feel better. So anyway, where was I? She loved him. So Alexa says she's been there, you know, with Jim. And so she says her and Will are going to have that talk. Then Tamara asks, is she hurting because of the pain of seeing the kids having fun with him? And, you know, you're being cut out of it. Well, duh, Tamara. Did you have to say it? Didn't she just said that. Maybe it was a confessional, but she just said that. Maybe it was a confession. I don't remember. So then she tells. Now it's all about Tamara. So then Tamara tell, you know, I guess, you know, and then Jen probably does need that emotional break. So Tamara jumps in and says, yeah, she tells him that that's how she felt after her divorce with Simon, because you know her daughter Sydney don't fool with her. I wonder why. This, do y'all know how long it's been going on for? I had to Google it. So Sydney does not talk to Tamara, don't fool with her. She may see her at what's Sydney? So what's the other one's name? Sophia. She saw Sydney at Sophia's graduation. Sydney paid her dust. And her and Simon been divorced since 2011. It's 2020, let's say 23, maybe if they're taping this. Maybe 24, because it might be winter or spring, whatever. Dang, Sydney, you are not playing with Tamara. I wonder what happened. Do we know? Has Sydney said anything? Okay, so Gina back in La Quinta. Gina and Emily are playing pickleball, and Emily cannot hit this ball back over the net to save her life. So Gina is like, oh, all that gym ratting she doing and going to the gym, she is not athletic at all. Child, so we figured out gym rat does not equal athlete. So Gina tells Emmy she wants them to not have any problems, because there's tension no, excuse me, there's tension in the air. Remember, Emily was mad. She couldn't talk the night before. She couldn't even eat her dinner. Hold on. She couldn't eat her dinner. Blah, blah, blah. So Emily says she doesn't like the things she's heard. Jen said, Emily said, how high does Gina jump for Heather? You know, she's all up in her butt. Emily says, she said something like that. Not really, but something like that. And she said, how do you go from loving Katie? You know, you met her, you was in love with her, Katie this, Katie that, Katie this. Then you have a sit down with Heather, and right after that, now you don't like Katie anymore. Emily plays out how the talk between Gina and Heather went with flashbacks. So she's into this whole thing about the Godfather. So Heather is the Godfather. So Heather walks in. The Godfather enters the room. The rings are out. Gina kisses them. Gina lays and falls to her knees to apologize. And Heather, the Godfather, doesn't accept it. That was so funny. So she said, Heather manipulates you. Oh boy, you care what she thinks. You're so far up her butt. Hey, you're up Tamara's butt. How? Tamara doesn't tell me what to do. Gina says she doesn't want Emily to be the grand bitch. Like it's like you guys are fighting on who's the bigger bitch. She said it's like you and Tamara are competing just to be so aggressive. And so I think that's when she said about still having the pickleball paddle in her hand. So Emily says she's 48 years old. She said, what do you want me to do? Her thing is, you met me like this. And she said, then it's like, you're thinking like, who's the bigger a-hole, you or Tamara? And, Gina is hollering, well, you get on your knees for Heather. I've been aggressive since the day you met me, Emily told her. Gina is heated and throws the paddle down on the ground. She says, everyone is mad at her. You're mad at me. Heather's mad at me. Katie's mad at me. Travis is mad at me. And there you have it. That's what the breakdown is. It's her and Travis. And because she don't want to be alone. That's the vibe I get. She has an issue with being single. And so then, child, the sprinklers come on, and now they get wet. And so she just storms off. So the walk off is an epic fail, honey, because she can't get back into the house. She's like, so many ways to get in, and they're all locked. And so in this moment, you really know that Emily loves her friend, and so loves her enough, and they're still friends, because she was like, well, are you going to come back, towards her? And so Gina's screaming, I have to. I can't get in. And so it's like, listen. And so they're very close, hugging and holding each other. Emily's holding Gina, and she's like, listen. And Gina's like, no. And she's like, I don't want to deal with this. And so Emily's like, okay, calm down. Emily explains that it hurts her feelings when Gina thinks less of her. And so now they are just both crying. So Gina feels like she can't approach her. You got me walking on eggshells. I need you in my life right now. And Gina says she's sorry, and that, she's sorry she's going through so much. Just going through so much. And so Emily says they needed to do this breakdown because so much has built up between their friendship. So Gina doesn't want to end up like, oh, here we go. She don't want to end up like Tamara and Shannon. I said, girl, that part. Because they don't know what they doing. They done fell out so many times. I can't keep up. Because we on season 18? Can't keep up. And Shannon didn't even, I don't even think Shannon or Tamara started the show. Tamara's not an original, huh? I don't think so. So Emily's like, that's not us. Those two are dysfunctional nut jobs. We are normal. So then Heather and Shannon can hear them fighting from inside the house. And they're like, what's going on? So Heather says, I'm not going out there. And they're like, I'm wondering if they heard I wonder if Shannon heard what Emily said, calling her a dysfunctional nutbag. But production didn't let us know that. So back in Big Bear, the girls are packing up to leave, and Alexis asks, can she have a talk with Katie? She goes into Katie's room, and so she tells her that Heather is her friend, her dear friend, and she's very hard-headed, but she really likes her, Katie. So Heather doesn't have a sense of humor like the rest of them do. And they're like, okay. And so Katie was like, okay, cool. She wants to move forward with Heather. Like, she don't want to be stuck here about this paparazzi thing. Neither do we, because we're tired of hearing. I don't want to hear the word paparazzi. So Alexis is asking her to apologize to Heather for laughing in her face. And so I was like, what? So they show a clip where they're at the golf course. And so Heather says something, and Katie just kind of like, ha ha ha, kind of like maybe it seemed like she just was pushing past it or not taking whatever Heather was saying seriously. I didn't think much of it, but clearly Heather does. So here we are. Alexis trying to rally for this. So she's asking her, like, when you apologize, look her, mean it with your eyes. What? I had something to say, but I'm going to not say it. Alexis thinks that her and Heather can have a kumbaya and get everyone back together. Girl, bye. So Jen tells Tamara she likes their friendship and she's so happy. Like this weekend was what she needed. Those girls had a good time. Now, besties, let me ask, did I even ask last week, where would you guys have wanted to be? In La Quinta, or would you guys have wanted to be in Big Bear? First, I was thinking La Quinta, but I think I would have wanted to be in Big Bear because I'm sure they had a whole bunch of fun the night before. Just like the OnlyFans dancing on the pool table, and then the talking and the crying and the bonding. They really bonded. Them girls in La Quinta, they can't relax and chill because uh, Gina don't want nobody to touch nothing. But everybody keeps dropping stuff, to be real. And it's like she got everybody so stressed out they can't relax. So then with Shannon and no, I don't want it to be. I rather Big Bear because they went out to eat. I think in La Quinta they ate at home. Yeah, I would have wanted to be in Big Bear. I like going out to eat. So, and y'all do too. Don't play. But let me know in the comments, where would you have wanted to go? Um, so the kumbaya. So okay, so Jen is very happy. This weekend was a real good help for her mental, her emotions. She got to get, they had therapy. And so she's telling Tamara, I want it straight from you. If you got something to say, come direct, say it straight to me. Don't be going around the corner and talking to folks. Girl, you talking to the wrong person, honey. Do you know Tamara? She's no one's friend, Jen. Next week, y'all gonna be arguing. And so, and she gets what she's doing with Shannon, but she's pretty much telling Shannon, you're attacking her. And so Tamara's like, I don't feel like I attacked Shannon. And so, she's like, so Jen is trying to help them. And she said, you're trying to help, but you don't know how. No, this is Tamara. Tamara's like, I don't know how. I'm so frustrated. I want to help her. And so, Jen is like, you have to come from that hard loving, you got to have that hard loving conversation. And you should, because she's doing much better than she was. So Tamara's like, well, I hope so. And so they all get ready to hit the road. So back in La Quinta, Heather and Shannon joined the girls outside. They're like, what's going on? We're fine, we're fine. And so then the girls hug. So Heather and Shannon, they go off to play pickleball. And Emily and Gina walk back to the house because, they're wet from the sprinklers. And so then they're packing up and they're ready to load the truck. And they're standing out in the foyer getting ready to, wait. I guess they're waiting on maybe Emily with the key or whatever to load up the truck. And Shannon drops her big old thing of water. And Gina just says, get out of the house, get out of the house. This is the third person that drops something. I think everybody has dropped something on the floor. She's like, get out. She can't handle it. So back in Big Bear, Alexis gets a call from John. She's bad. This call, she is in a rage. She is crying. She says the gloves are off. So it's something about Shannon. And I'm trying to put it together. Was the call about Shannon's settlement offer, or is it about the Ring cameras? Because like, if you have Ring cameras in your house, you already know she was out there trying to hurt your daughter. Not trying to hurt, almost ran over your daughter. Okay, so John Jensen calls. She's just falling apart. She is upset and hollering. Okay, they were talking about we have the footage. Okay, so they're talking about the ring cam, but it's like, why all of a sudden you just now have the footage? You didn't know you had a ring camera? Very weird. Okay, so production asks, like what happened? And so here go Alexis. I'm not at liberty to say, ask him. Well, he ain't on the show. We would love to ask him a whole bunch of questions, but he's not on the show. Why don't you put him on FaceTime? Oh, call him back. How about that, Alexis? Call him back. Because, I was really enjoying this episode until that point. The gloves are off. Oh, gosh. So Alexis says Shannon is a POS. Y'all know what that is? Piece of crap. S word, S bomb. And she cries. She goes back into the room and lays on her back or her stomach, talking about she feel like she may have to irk and jerk. It's like, girl, y'all think Alexis is pregnant? Being that she says she might have to throw up. She might be pregnant. Okay. Back home in Orange County, Tamara visits Gina. And so she's coming over to see what the contractors are doing, renovating the kids' room and all that, since Travis has moved out. And so then we see Katie meets Emily because their boys actually meet. Their kids are around the same age. So Katie's one son, the youngest son, meets Emily's two boys. So Emily asked Katie how was her trip to Big Bear, and she said they laughed a lot. So Emily tells her they had fun and there were a lot of dramatic moments. So Gina and Heather had to talk. Wait a minute, Gina and Heather, they had to talk. Katie, oh yeah, they did talk outside, right? Katie thought Gina was a girl's girl, but she said, I see she's a girl's girl for Heather. So she cool on Gina. She's good. But that's good because Gina's good on you too. And that was quick. Because they were just loving on each other. So Tamara tells Gina that Alexis talks a lot. Alexis is Shannon focused. Well, say like when she's in the room, is she like that even when Shannon is not around? And she was like, oh, she's very defensive. So Shannon was able to be very vulnerable because no one was angry at her. And so here go Tamara. Did she drink? And so Gina was like, she did, because she likes to drink. Gina explains that she too had a drinking problem and she couldn't control it. She's not an alcoholic. She didn't stop drinking after her DUI because she felt like a loser. So she took responsibility for the mistake that she made, but she wasn't ready to admit that she had a drinking problem until later. But, she's trying to tell Tamara, you can't force someone into that alcoholic realm of life, right? And so I just had a thought about that. Now, with Shannon, we know her explaining when she went to lunch with her father, how she grew up in a house with alcohol. They kick it, they drink, they dance, they have a good time. She likes to throw them back. So does Tamara. So does Vicky. Where do you think the Tres Amigas came from, right? Those girls are drinkers. But I do remember when Shannon divorced David, David did say something about her drinking too. She comes from a drinking family. So my question is, are you an alcoholic? I don't think Shannon is an alcoholic. I think the incident that happened was very emotionally driven because of the breakup with, what's his name? John Jensen. I just think we know she had been drinking. I'm not saying that. I'm aware. But she always drinks. Correct? Correct. But getting the DUI, crashing into the house, going over there, almost hitting his daughter, just all the commotion, hurting herself, pretending, all that. Was it more emotionally driven than alcohol? Okay, both. But I'm just saying, let's just say if she hadn't been drinking, when a man that you love makes you upset and you breaking up and you don't want to and you feeling some kind of way, I believe all that still could have happened sober. I'm talking from experience. Not a lot of experience, some sort of, get mad, drive by, get notes, whatever, have, all that. I think you can do that sober. Just lose control of a car because you're so emotional. So I'm not set on Shannon being an alcoholic, maybe drink a lot, but there has to be a difference between drinking a lot and just plain on alcoholic. I think alcoholic means you have a alcohol disease to where you drinking more than you eating and you can't function and you're not, I don't know. What you guys think? I just think that it was all that happened was just more because of the emotional than the drinking. And she drink a lot, and you just made a decision to go over there that night. And it was a bad one because you was already losing it and you was drunk. So now DUI girl. But I'm just saying maybe a DUI having one should not cause you to be an alcoholic. In her case, my opinion. Okay, so Gina explains to Tamara her thing. So Tamara says, well, it's the manipulation and the lying. And so Gina's like, it's her brokenness. Tamara feels tough love is needed because if she feels like if she's on her side, then Shannon will keep drinking. No, ma'am. Shannon is a grown woman. You don't have to tough love her. You can say it, but you don't have to be screaming at her and embarrassing her in front of people and just Tamara. That's why your daughter don't fool with you now. Mm, mm, mm. That's why she don't fool with you. I think you anyway. Katie is telling Emily that the call John made to Alexis was John saying that they were going to release footage of Shannon almost running over his daughter. Wow. And that's when Alexis said, all gloves are off. And that's the name of this episode. The gloves are off. But that's not even anyway, I don't like it. I like what Tamara said. Okay, so Jen and Ryan go get a pedicure together. Okay, so she tells him about her OnlyFans page, and he was like, you're not doing that. And he has an OnlyFans page and he has his toes on there. He actually was getting his toes painted. So he displays his feet and she gets white polish. And so does he. He gets his two big toes painted white and he has two little itty bitty red hearts on his big toe. Okay. Shannon and Tamara meets for lunch. Tamara took Jen's advice, called up Shannon. They meet for lunch. Oh, Tamara. Tamara calls Jen on her way to tell her that that she took her advice and she's not going to holler and would like to talk to her since she's doing better. Shannon calls Heather on her way to lunch to tell her that she's going to meet with Tamara. Heather says, how many times have we done this? This is in her confessional. She wasn't talking. She's like, how many times? And I'm like, Heather, golly, again? So Tamara tells her she thinks Shannon should have called her. What? Out of all of this, you left the Tres Amigas, didn't say nothing. You think she was supposed to call you? Back at Heather's function in January, she wanted to go out and talk to you. You told her no. So why should she be calling you? Okay. So Shannon said, Tamara, you've been defaming me, my name, for 8 weeks. Girl, tell her how many weeks it's been, honey. Tell her that's 2. Is that 2 months, Shannon? And so she denies it as she's mimicking Shannon's facial expressions. So petty, Tamara. So petty. Shannon asks, should I be telling you right now, like, to calm down? Oh, I just wanted you to see what you look like. What? Baby, Shannon better than me, because baby, I would have got up and left. And I probably would have threw a drink in Tamara's face. You got me messed up. You sitting here mimicking me to my face like that's doing, like, what are you doing? You called me to be here to just keep going, huh? You just gonna keep stabbing me in the back. You just gonna keep defaming. Okay. Okay, Tamara. Whew. So Shannon says she is focusing on being healthy. So you don't drink anymore? Dang, Tamara, really? She said, I have two drinks, you know. So you don't think you have a drinking problem? And so Shannon's like, I'm aware of what I did. I used alcohol excessively in my darker periods. She was like, if it gets to a point to where it's an issue, then I will look into doing something about it. But I'm not deeming myself. Oh wait, no. She looked into it and she deemed herself as an alcoholic. She did. And so, no, you guys help me out. Did Shannon say she was an alcoholic, or did Tamara deem her as an alcoholic? Maybe no, because it says herself. So Shannon said it. Oh boy. Okay. I guess you have to, because I think that's what Tamara wants to hear. Because Tamara can't understand. And that's and me too. Like, okay, I get like Gina had a problem with it, so she don't use it. But I don't know. I just feel like, do you have to stop drinking permanently to not be? I don't know. I just feel like that was that one time Shannon made a mistake, and like Vicky said, don't drink and drive. You gonna drink, don't drive. Period. I'm with Vicky on this. So anyway, I guess she deemed herself as an alcoholic. And so Tamara was like, is it sneaking alcohol into your Coke? Doesn't that make you? And so Shannon is like, that only happened one night. Shannon told Tamara she's seen her in compromising situations too. You know, I've seen you, Tamara, because Tamara is a heavy drinker too. And so that's when Tamara says, well, have I drove my car into someone's house? And yeah, so Shannon's like, I have to walk away. So she gets up and leaves. She asks production to get her purse. She goes into the bathroom, says some stuff, and Tamara's at the table. Is she coming back? So in Shannon's confessional, she's like, she said, you kick someone when they're down, and she goes for the low blows, and she said if she doesn't, and she's lucky she doesn't go there with her, because she could go there with her. Girl, go there with her. She didn't already embarrassed her in front of everybody. Go there with Tamara. What has Tamara done? Has she done white powder? Has she done go there? Please go there. Child, we got 4 more minutes on this darn video. Please go there, Shannon. We got 4 more minutes of the episode. Please go there. Let's go there. Let's do a star rating. Shannon, if you go there, this episode I will rate this episode a 12. Make my recap Shannon Storms Bador. Child, go there, Shannon. You need to go there. Tamara deserves it. She's asking for it. So Shannon comes back to the table. She explains why she left. She apologizes that she got up, but she had to because she was upset and she needed to go take a breath. So she's learning this, right? So she was digging herself out of a hole, and Tamara keeps pushing her back in this hole. And she's like, she's focusing on herself. She has a very small circle with much support. And Tamara says, I've been there for you the last 10 years for every issue, hurtful, everything. She's trying to make things better, but she says, she's screaming and she's being defensive. And well, you came off kind of harsh, Tamara. So Shannon said this is the first time Tamara's not yelling. And so she told her she was off the rails at Gina's dinner. And then she backs up Alexis, about the money about the money she owes to John. And so she's like, well, so she tells Tamara, you're backing up Alexis. And so Tamara said, about the money you owe John. You know what I'm saying? It's so many times Tamara should have been punched in the face, mentally, not figuratively. I don't owe him money. There's no promissory note. I paid for everything the first 2 years of our relationship. And now her attorney has asked to settle. And he said no. He wants nothing under $75,000. He wants her to pay him or submit a payment arrangement. And so it's like she's reliving the relationship over and over and over. And so now she's thinking, like, how stupid was she to even, how stupid it was for her to stay this long. He wants her to, by Friday, he wants the payment arrangement. We don't know what that day was, but it sounded like it was the same week. Friday would sound like it was the end of that same week. If she doesn't submit a payment plan for John, they're going to file. And she's not doing anything that he wants her to do. Because remember, her father told her to fight. Tamara says she doesn't blame her. Shannon cries again. Tamara feels for Shannon because they have a trauma bond from back in 2018 when Jim sued both of them. She doesn't want to make things harder for Shannon. But you have, liar. So she apologized again. And then she invites her and tells her to bring Vicky to her upcoming party. What? Told her to fight this, And so they say that they hug, they love each other. And Tamara says she wants the best for Shannon. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, Tamara and Shannon again. They're going to be friends again. Baby, Tamara needs therapy. But anyway, besties, that was the end of the video. Let me know what you rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. I think I said a 9. But had Shannon told us some stuff that she knows about Tamara, I would have named it a 12. I would have given it a 12. And we'll see what next week holds for us. I can't wait, but Real Housewives of Orange County is off the hook. Okay, besties, I will see you in the next video. Bye, besties.